1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. here on April 17th, 20 and the 25. That's right, the Mayan calendar. What's happening here? I removed another 50,000 from the account, so I'm now up to, is that accurate? 750,000? $750,000 that I have extracted from the account this year. And I think I like to, certain numbers attract me. One of them is the number 24. So maybe I'll take it down to 2224, or maybe all the way down to 124. Because I rarely, as you know, use all the cash in this account. Like currently there's 1.8 million in cash. Why am I talking out loud to you right now? You don't want to hear that. Oh, typical Bart, right? Yeah. So here we go. Let's take a look. Let me get this up. I want to see this. Okay. Got the TLT up there on the big box. Got the SLV, the GLD, the TMF, and the URA. URA can now come off. As you can see, down to one position. One position got stopped out of uranium today. The trade was just kind of making my butt stink. And I locked onto a pattern probably a week ago. Each trading day was a high. Let's go to the chart. Just on uranium, though. Don't look at anything else. So you see, how long have I been in this trade? Probably 3 weeks, I would imagine. And what I was noticing, especially lately, is that in the morning would be the high of the day, and then it would roll over, and at the afternoon would be the low of the day. So I said, you know what? Last trading day of this week, if I get close, I'm just going to throw some aggressive stops in there, hope that it continues to go up. But if it doesn't, I'll get stopped out for a much smaller loss than I was at when uranium was down here and I was holding the baggage on those. So that's what went on today in uranium. Here's what it looks like. There's the uranium right there, stopped out at 23.14, all 5,000 shares, and I did lose $677. So a mere flesh wound, as Monty Python would tell you. And easily distracted, Bart. Keep your head in the game. Uranium currently at 2302. So it may skyrocket, whatever. It happens. Don't suffer from FOMO. So once I'm out of the trade, the charts need to come off, and I'll move on my mental space to the next trade, which right now we did go short GLD. GLD is a gold ETF. And I went short I bought 10 put contracts with a 304 strike for May 17th. That is the OPEX of May, third Friday of the month, and I paid $6,550. It's a pretty, steep price for some scratch offs, but I think we are toppy. We're looking pretty toppy in gold and GLD and currently SLV. So let's look at the charts just to say hello. What are we looking for? I can see it in your charts. And I joked about this the other day. We take this out and we'll moon. We did take it out and kind of mooned, had a little moonshot. But I think we're going to see a little consolidation here. Probably an ABC down. We already got. Is that enough for a B? I don't know. We'll see. I got it charted somewhere. Where is it? Not there. But it is back up to the 50-day moving average. I would not imagine it's going to close above the 50-day on the silver futures. Because that cartel was able to beat it right back down to under the 50-day, and now it's a battle. It's a battle of attrition right here. We'll see what goes on by close, but I would imagine it's going to close lower than 32.50 as far as futures. Now, here's what I was looking at on the SLV, and we talked about this on Tuesday. I keep getting thrown off because today's Thursday, but it's the last trading day of the week. So it's kind of making me feel like Friday. So I talked about this specifically in the video, which was, this is not sitting right with me. I wonder if that was a quick 3, or that was our 3, and this, if you just move it over without moving it up or down, that got right into the 4 box, and then whoa, hold on. So that is, what is, oh, I'm touching we got it? Yeah. Touching them fibs. And then, so this would be perfectly coiffed for a 5. Touched right into the 5 of 1. Okay. What comes after 1, Terry? 2, Bart. You're right, Terry. You're always on top of things. So for a 2, we need an ABC down. And I would say the A is in. The B is looking like it wants to be in, just like that. Doesn't mean I'm right. Probably wrong, but it's looking like it wants to be a B there. I mean, that's a quick move, but silver's been moving rapido lately. And then and I put the fibs up just for my own viewing pleasure, just to cover like an A equals C, but I think it'll be lower than that. Let's put in a target for the C. We'll go let's go 20. Let's get aggressive and say 28.99. I'll go all the way down to that 50% for the C. That's how it's tracking. If that turns out, then this would be a phenomenal place for me to get aggressive again with the silver. So that would mean buying leaps on the SLV here and loading up on AGQ, my 2 favorite silver moves. Gold and silver, though, super resilient. And then that would be the C for 2. Let's go 40. Let's put a 40 on it and then change it to red. What do you say? Just for our viewing pleasure. And then, of course, what comes after 2 is 3 in an Elliott wave theory. The 3 is typically the longest, typically also the most impulsive, but never the shortest wave. So we'd be looking for a nice aggressive move if we do get into this range. And I'll accept A equals C. But if you get a 28 handle, I'll be going for it. So that's what we're looking at on SLV. Let's change it so I can see it better. Let's change it so we can see it better. There it is. There it is. AGQ. If we get that move down, we're not going to get where I really wanted to go long, which would have been here. We did get this, as you know, and I made 12,100 in a 1-day trade on AGQ, but I don't think we're even getting back down to that first arrow. Keeping an eye on you. But GLD just looks so stretched, and gaps, like some gaps have formed on this essentially parabolic move. I was thinking 300 would be the place that just was heavy resistance, and it is, but it just gapped right through it. So I expect to gap back down through it. And that's why we went short GLD. Doesn't mean I'm right. This is not trading advice. This is insanity. But this is my next target for GLD. Min to, and I'd say a 289, catch a little 289 handle. But even further is a possible, because, this thing is just running. It's been running. Futures on gold. And this is a 1-hour chart. This is GDX. Had my finger on the trigger to short GDX yesterday afternoon. Should have done it. Because I would have already had a nice little profit right through here. But it should be going further. But again, it looks like it'll be a 3-wave move. A somewhere up here is B, and then C will be down under this line. Let's just put a C in for fun, and then we'll measure it up later. We'll deal with it later. Let's just put an A up for fun here. Can't see it, so we'll put it there. Let's just leave that for now, and then I'll add that B in after hours. My 1 through 5 impulsive. This looks funky because just time frames, but I do think we have the 1-2 in place, and now we're just meandering. Does that then turn into a diagonal or maybe even a triangle? Possible. But I'm looking for this between now and the end of the weekend. Get through this, take out that 1 to show me that maybe, just maybe, we're on our way to 3, and then we'll just move these around. Then we just move them numbers around. I'm leaving this up because this will happen. Hate to tell you, this is going to happen, even though we're way up here where this red dotted line is. This is going to happen sooner rather than later. This thing's ugly, so we'll clean this thing. Now let's just get rid of it. Get rid of that. This I was monkeying around with yesterday, and look what it did. I put this little weird trend lines in place yesterday, probably at the start of this red, and look what it did. It touched the line, and then today we got a little dip under and then turned right back around. So I think you get a little more action up here before you then maybe break through this bottom trend line. That's what we're looking at. More meander action on the NASDAQ futures. TLT, this is what I'm looking for at the moment. I think we got the A in place. B is in progress. B is in progress. And then the C, and this is TLT, should take us to a min 90, according to this 90.70, but a minimum of $90, but hopefully up to 92. TLT. Just been monkeying around with me, haven't you? Playing with my emotions. But I do feel pretty good about this move. A, B, C, watching in earnest as we battle the elusive TMF through the TLT. I should say the TLT through the TMF. So I don't expect that. I don't even think we'll touch that top rail of the 20-year yield. We're going to get close. We're going to get real close, I think, and then it's going to turn down. And we're going to finally, after this whipshaw and then meander, we're going to finally break down under the white next week. That is my hopeful projection. There's our uranium. Bye, bye, bye. Look at that. Just nothing going on through here. And I held on through here, so I'm fine with just leaving that position with a paper cut. Okay, we talked about this the other day, and I said it had a nice setup for a 1-2. I put this trend line in to say don't break under it because it had a nice setup, but it had to take this out to confirm that it is trying to move up in a 3, and it took it out. Hello. So what's that mean? Well, I missed the trade. I missed that trade. The next one would be confirm you got 3, show me 3 waves down to 4, and then you can go in on that 4 and ride it up through the top of that 5. And on WTI, I had my, when I was looking at WTI, I had this in mind. I know this is a tight taiga. Can't even see it, Bart. Well, that's what I had in mind for a target. I'll just write it on here. And I'll make it smaller. Just because I like what? Yes, the visuals. We like the visuals right there. That's WTI, aka Earl. USO, aka Earl. Natty, playing with my emotions. But so we had the one good trade this week, and then you could have done basically the same trade every day in either a 1-day trade or a day trade, and you could have been raking. But it takes nerves of steel or maybe insanity to trade natty. You get back down to 321. See that on the right side there, $3.21. Then I'll be back in, ride it up a couple pennies because I'll use Boyle aggressively. Sorry, staring at the TMF chart is making a kind of a good looking move. But I still think there's a lower low in there before it goes higher. So that's the look on the natural gas. Just messing around. It had a nice little spike breakout, but it didn't hold it at all. It was quick, little wick action. So you get back down here, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll be looking at a liftoff, and I'll ride it back up to a minimum of that top rail. Take some profits if that is the case. All the trades are great on paper, aren't they? Yes, they are. So that, my friends, is what's happening. What else I was going to tell you something else. Oh, yeah. I think we're going here, me and lady friend. This is in Hilton Head Island. We've never been to Hilton Head, and I have some friends that just absolutely love it there. So we'll take our first trip there for our anniversary trip this year, which will be August. Probably will be mid to late August. These pictures are not great, but what is great, hello, here's the lanai, and there is the ocean. So be able to walk right out there. See the revelers right there. Be a nice spot for us. Yeah, these pictures are, that one's okay. That one's all right. Cute little place. It's tiny, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Little rain shower action. Although these are, in the right environment, these are great. In general, I don't have one at my house, and I don't want one at my house. I don't know if you feel the same way about these rain shower heads. They were all the rage about 10 years ago. It'll do. It does come with bikes, so I'll be doing wheelies up and down the island. Oh, yeah. This is the spot, so it has a cool looking pool overlooking the ocean. Little footpath down to the beach where me and lady will probably be most of the time. All right, there's that. Bought this today, the Tao of Capital, Austrian Investing in a Distorted World. I've been studying Mark Spitznagel lately because he is a contrarian investor and he's always on the lookout for black swan events. And he thinks there's one coming. Where did I see? Did I leave that headline up or no? No, it's too scary. Here he is, Mark Spitznagel. But he made like 4,000% in the first quarter of 2020 black swan event. So that's what's going on around these parts. Hope you are doing well. Hope you have a fantastic weekend coming up. Like I said, I already feel like I'm into the weekend, which, technically tomorrow is a holiday. Kid 3 is off tomorrow and Monday. We're going to take Coco's coming home, my Coco kid 2 from Boiler Up from Purdue for Easter. Of course, GLD makes, I don't want to call it a higher because it's really gone downtown to Chinatown early on today. But I think this is the spot where I said I was going to take also a short in Stacy's account. So I'll do that as soon as we click off. And so Coco's coming. Fab 5, we're going to take my mother out to breakfast Saturday because we won't see her on Sunday. We'll be going to Stacy's aunt and uncle's house for Easter. And no, I'm not going to be the Easter bunny this year. I laughed and refused at the same time. So like, subscribe, comment, share this video and this channel with a lovable friend, and I will indeed see you in the next video.